Welcome to the... Oh, there we go. Everybody's live now. Welcome to another episode of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons Descent into Avernus. Yep, the noise gate doesn't work. Anyway, so let me close this up. We'll start off with some introductions. We'll do a brief recap of the last episode, and then we'll jump right into it. So, let's start off the top right there with Kashcah.
Hello, I'm DM for this campaign.
There we go.
And only this campaign. And I'm going to take this opportunity to invite you to join us tomorrow for a new campaign where I will not be DMing. And I'm so excited about my character. I'll be playing. I'm super pumped. Anyway, there you go.
And just to add on to that, I won't be DMing either.
I know.
Oh boy.
Mystery DM.
Who is running the show?
Nobody you've seen in any of our D&D campaigns so far.
I know.
And can we give them inspiration?
No.
That's up to them.
Have they DM before?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
And that's going to be on Sunday at 6 p.m.
It's tomorrow.
UK time. And that's an estimate. Obviously, it's going to be our first episode. It might be late before we start it. Who knows? So around that time, just stick around the channel.
Sorry. Yeah.
Anyway,
I bogarted.
No, that was great. That was like your longest intro yet.
I know. I'm working on it. I have to think about something new to talk about every week. Next week, oranges. We're going to talk about oranges. Right.
I'll keep you to that.
All right. Next, moving on down there, we've got Nightcaste.
Hello, I am Nightcaste. I play Malvola. He is a Dragonborn Hexblade. And you have no idea how many times I have to stop and not like flip the compound words around when I say Dragonblade, Hexborn, Bloody. I don't. It's every single time.
I didn't do it, man. All right. So next to Nightcast, we have Shy.
Hi, I'm Shy. I'm playing as Coyra, a half-elf druid who surprisingly hates wood and is trying her best to stay alive in these crazy, hellish places.
I think to be more accurate, she hates dead processed wood.
Yeah. Yes. Except the pipe. The pipe is beautiful.
Oh, so the pipe is wood.
I mean, the pipe is special. Who knows what it's made of?
Right.
It makes magical bubbles.
All right, and then next to Shy, we have NobiGit.
Yes, I'm NobiGit. I'm playing Grimm, a shifter, a slightly more holy monk.
One who's trying.
Hey, he's working on it.
Yep.
Nobody's perfect.
All right, then next to him, we've got... Sorry. We've got Tim.
Hi, I'm Ghostwoods. I'm playing Thorn, an elven greenstalker ring.
There you go.
He's having a bad week.
that's pretty much that pretty much names it, yeah. And then I'm
otherwise known as Mr. Stabby.
I'm Vallen. I will be playing as Palkas, a half-orc wild magic sorcerer. Yep.
It is one day going to kill us all.
And he has almost succeeded.
Yes.
At least once so far. All right, now on to the recap. Last episode, episode 24, called Older Ravengard. Upon finding Older Ravengard, a herd of demonic minotaurs charged in the room at us through a warp in the wall. We were able to finish them off and search the area, but the portal had closed and all were dead, but for Ravengard and in his current crazed state. The helm he was wearing would not come off through normal means, or without injury. So, Coyra, in giant constrictor form, brought him back to the catacombs under High Hall, and we asked for help from those there. Feria Jinx, was trained in exorcism and possession, and was willing to attempt a ritual to free Ravengard from the helm. It demanded holy water from the catacombs to sanctify an altar, the weapon of the unknown hero to be held fast nearby, and multiple voices to pray to Thorn. We performed it, and the demonic influence in the helm was removed, allowing some will-o-wisp to escape it. We then were able to remove the helm from Ravengard. He spoke of a tale of Lulu and Zariel, and how Lulu raised an alabaster tower to imprison Zariel's sword that Yale had plunged into the ground while being pursued by a demon. She fled and was helped by 2 Kenku called Clonk and Chukka, with an infernal vehicle as their transport. They took her to a junkyard called Fort Knucklebone. This fort was visible from the city by Lulu and expected to be about 10 miles away. The party split in their decisions at this point. The original objective of saving Ravengard in hopes he could return and mount a rescue of the Elturellians from the material plane was proven not a feasible option. He instead seemed more interested in the importance of the sword and the story it had. In telling this, Lulu recalled memories and abilities long forgotten. The party then discussed at length the fate they would follow. Remove the chains to stop the city falling? How? Travel to find the sword relic down below through the raging war? How? And why? Returning an unwilling Ravengard to Candlekeep to at least reclaim Waterdeep? How? And would he? Claim vengeance for Thorn's dead brother by following the book trail. How would this be accomplished? Claim vengeance. Oh, wait, I said that one. I was reading the same line again. In all this, Palkas requested Lulu to fly up and search the chains for a sign of one that was not being tended in hopes of a way down. And, at the end of last episode, our dungeon master notified us all that we all leveled up to level 7. Thus begins episode 25, A Hard Decision. Kashcah.
Oh, no. This is not even.
Yeah, it is, because I just said Lulu was asked to go look.
I know, but she is not back yet.
Well, he asked like early on, and then we argued for like another 10 minutes.
I know, but you asked her to go around the city checking each of the chains. That's going to take a bit.
Okay, I thought she'd just fly to the river in the middle, and I guess that will take a bit. Okay.
She is a thorough Holophant, thank you.
All right, so I guess
Well, what you doing with us then?
my I guess Palkas would probably ask older Ravengard, what's the significance of the sword? Obviously, it has to be significant because of the protections placed upon it and everything, but how could it help us? Any idea?
So Older kind of scratches his head and thinks to himself for a minute, and he says, these are visions. They're not like a set of instructions that I can give you. It's not a handbook or anything. You have to interpret the word of Thorn, he says, but especially in between words of Baphomet, he says, but I think that I think we can use the sword to break the chains.
Oh.
He says clearly Elturel's not going anywhere as it is right now. We have to change that circumstance.
Down.
He says that much is true.
Mm-hmm.
Says, and all hope is lost when we reach the surface.
Grimm, why are you still wearing that helmet?
And it won't come off.
What?
You heard me.
You just hear a faint little chuckle of Coyra.
Is this how it started for you, Older? Did things go crazy shortly after, or did you have moments of clarity like he's experiencing now?
He says no. He says I was completely consumed immediately.
Oh. Varia, do you think you could perform another ritual? Are you being injured? Is there anything wrong?
No.
Do you
Just
perhaps have a large wooden spoon?
stuck. Perhaps what? I didn't catch that.
Do you perhaps have a large wooden spoon?
You just gonna smack him in the face with it or something?
That doesn't sound.
Ring the helmet like a bell, obviously.
Thank you. That's exactly where I.
Right.
I mean, that's how you used to hit saucepans with, right? So yeah, totally.
Brother.
Varia kind of looks at you, Grimm, and says, "Do you need assistance removing the helm?"
This being going through a ritual.
I mean, you seem okay at the moment. Maybe it'll be useful.
It's...
You are a Tormite. Torminator. You're a Torminator.
That's perfect. Grimm is a Terminator. We've come up with a new subclass. And by we, I mean Ghostwoods.
That's so much better than Tormite.
It was a team effort.
What do you recommend for ways to take it off?
She says, well, you don't seem to be gripped quite as strongly as Ravengard was, but so maybe a simple bless spell would work for you? But otherwise we could try the ritual.
Can you cast a bless spell?
Not exactly.
If that would work, I could, but we'd have to rest for a while.
I think Malvola might know that spell.
Eldritch Blast.
Oh, Blast! I thought it was Blast.
Or would improve.
I thought it was Eldritch Blast.
Nothing.
Maybe a random fireball to the head would work.
Look, seriously, it might come in useful.
Palkas says,
And
well,
don't even consider having Palkas.
if you
cast
really
anything.
want, I could try to catapult it off of your head. Straight up.
Ow.
You just gotta suck your ears in.
Palkas, I'm carrying lots of weapons.
Suck your
Don't even
ears
think
in.
about it.
I could catapult those too. Sorry.
Because it's a good trip. Yeah.
I'm going to catapult you off the side of the city.
Okay. So
Did she ever say whether or not she could cast the spell?
she said that she
She
wasn't
is
a
not a
magic user.
spellcaster.
Yeah.
Great.
She just is
So
familiar with
if-
exorcisms and possessions.
So
She
you
nods
think
her head.
bless would work?
Says, I'm not an expert, but it seems logical.
So as the only person here who could potentially cast that spell, we'd have to take a nice long rest in the hope that I can get this thing off.
You know the spell.
Yes.
Oh. Well, that's convenient.
I-
You can take it off
I
when
know
you
if-
so desire, then.
I know a few spells, including this handy one that inflicts rather than cures.
That's not very nice.
He was talking about catapulting the helm off my head.
It was only an
He was
offer.
offering
Was
a
that- how was
solution.
that
At this moment, Lulu flutters down from a hole in the roof. And she flies up to you, Palkas, and says,
She returns.
at the moment, 2 of the chains are unguarded.
There are 2 chains unguarded, she says.
Which ones?
One over that way.
I'm sure she
one
can
over
hear
that way.
Coyra say it, so I'm not going to repeat it.
Oh,
She says-
I mean, I said it loudly enough.
Right.
There's chain number 2 and chain number 7.
Right.
And how does the counting start? Where did you start counting?
While this discussion is going on, I just remembered a feature of this big altar. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm going to kneel down at the base of it, place my hands on the altar, and pray.
You're not getting another +2 katana.
Dual
No,
wielding,
no,
where
this
it's at.
This one was the one that had the healing effect.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't
Yeah.
know if it works more than once, but let's try it.
Upon seeing
God
you
help
try it,
us.
Coyra actually remembered that, and since she's not fond of taking the damage with that spark, she's gonna give it a try too, if that's okay.
Yeah, you can. You just need to
Ah.
roll a religion check. So, Grimm,
Yep.
are you testing the helm after you say the prayer, or?
Yeah.
Yes.
And if it happens to heal my hit points, cool.
Yes,
Coyra is not that
Does both.
religious.
So it actually does both.
it does.
Nice. I take the helm off and put it on the altar and back away from it.
Okay.
I assume this
I
does
think it's
nothing for
interesting
me.
how we've encountered at least
It doesn't. No.
2 like
Sorry.
artifact level magical items, and we've been like, nope.
Coyra just
So-
goes, I think this thing is broken. It doesn't work for me.
If you guys want to wear the helm, cool. But that whole armor thing, no.
I'm no
That
Terminator.
okay. Imagine trying to shift with that on your head.
Now I'm
Imagine my head
imagining-
with that on my head.
Yeah.
How would
Hey,
it
maybe we
work
should put
when
it
I'm
on
a
Thorn's
giant
head.
anaconda?
Ooh,
Wait, what was that? Sean?
Thorn talking
How
with
would it
Torm.
work when I'm a giant snake?
I think he's
Just a
conflicted
tiny
enough.
helmet?
I think Thorn's conflicted enough without having more voices.
I mean, really, it's already a party. Maybe Tom will bring the snacks.
I'm just picturing Torm picking up the phone and hearing that conversation that's going on in Thorn's head and going,
No.
Why did you even call me?
told you never to call this number.
We've been through this, come on!
You have wrong number. Do not call back.
Welcome to Indian tech support, how can I help?
We'd like to talk to you about your car's extended warranty.
Oh no, that's Term, not Torm.
Oh, whoops.
So I guess
There is actually a kind of Southwest Asian, Middle Eastern area called Termish in Forgotten Realms.
By the way, Coyra goes like, this thing doesn't work, I'll have to do it myself. And she casts healing on herself. How does that work? You touch. She just boops her own nose. And
Jeez.
points equal 1d8.
Nice.
You change cure
Nice.
wounds to healing boop.
Yes.
There's a
Oh, there we go,
restriction on
that's
it. You
fine.
actually have to touch them in the nose.
Oh yes, absolutely. I don't mind.
No, not touch them in the nose. Thump them in the nose.
And the verbal is boop.
Yep, absolutely. That's how it works.
Wow.
So you're
As you
sitting
can
there
see,
pooping your
it's
own
effective.
nose.
It's effective.
Mhm. Right, 2 and 7. So Palkas says perhaps this is worth going after. If it can break the chains, then I think that would at the very least be a very powerful artifact to have. One that could do such destruction, and one that we probably don't want the devils and demons to have. Maybe it'll even do wonders against Zerial. Maybe. I think we should go and get the sword.
Of course, we have to find it first.
Right, well, Lulu said it was... Wait, did you say it was in Fort Knucklebone, or you went to Fort Knucklebone from there?
Lulu says, no, it's the sword isn't in Fort Knucklebone. She says the Kenku are in Fort Knucklebone.
Oh, and they're the ones that took you to Knucklebone from the sword?
She says the Kenku can help us get to the sword.
Okay.
Was it Knucklebone where this infernal conveyance thing is supposed to be? Like, that's what...
Lulu says, it's just a big junkyard. They build infernal war machines.
Okay, that's... yeah.
What's an infernal war machine?
It makes you go really fast. Across Avernus.
Okay.
And
That
sometimes
sounds good. I don't want to be caught by devils and demons.
they can help you defend yourself as well. Against other war machines.
Wait, what?
But we have to talk them into it first.
Okay. Why might they be willing to help us?
They're my friends. Friends help each other.
Or threaten to do drastic physical harm to each.
You have strange
I've
friends.
I'm only that. I'm only that to save you from a helmet.
Of the chains that are currently unguarded, which one's the closest? Because the odds are they're not going to stay unguarded for very long.
She says, I agree. She says, the battle below shifts frequently.
And I'd rather not fall in the middle of a battle.
She says, if we're going to go, I can take you to the closest one quite quickly.
I think we should... yes. Get on with
Yeah.
it.
Of course, then there's the other side issue of it's a long drop.
I could cast a spell. It would be an interesting ride.
Coyra just steps one step away from Palkas.
He says,
just in case.
though I've never cast it before, so things could go wrong. But I could cast it first, and then if things do go okay, then we can jump a ride. At least
much
most
rope
of
do we
us
have?
could.
I'm somewhat uncomfortable with the phrase jump being...
Well, I could
Yeah.
pick you up with it, I guess, instead. I've been working with my shape water spell, and I think I can make it bigger.
This
You
sounds
think
amazing.
you're not sure of that?
I said I've not tried casting it before. I've just been practicing.
What could
Oh, boy.
possibly go wrong?
Let's take a look and decide from there.
Okay.
And Lulu, if you'd be so kind as to show us the way.
Perhaps we should tell the others what happened with Older Ravengard first. And that we're leaving and figure out who
Well,
else going
since
with
he's
us.
staying, he could probably go down there and tell him himself.
That's a good point.
He does have 2 arms, 2 legs, and a mouth to tell.
Older
But
Ravengard,
himself-
I have one point of advice for you. Don't put the helmet back on.
He kind of rolls his eyes.
Don't roll your eyes at me. You're the one that put it on in the first place and got all crazy. So, just a suggestion. Try not to do it.
No response. He's just like in awe that he's being told this by.
I'm headed toward the exit from High Hall.
Okay. All right.
Kind
Yes.
of one of those. I don't know him.
And Lulu will kind of actually, I'm going to move us back to the map of Elturel. There we go. Because Lulu is going to kind of follow you quite closely. And when you get outside, High Hall being up on that kind of elevated area, she points at this one over here.
To the west.
Yep.
Oh, so back by the graveyard.
Yeah.
Well, it's a route we're familiar with.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we won't encounter much along the way.
No.
Again, what's the worst that can happen, right?
No big deal. You know, just encountering the rider or something.
Palkas says,
I mean,
Coyra, can you turn into something that can get us down? Like fly?
I don't think I can.
Right, well I guess we should go see what it looks like. Maybe it's got its own ladder. Maybe it's actually very easy to climb giant chain links. I guess we'll find out.
All right. So is everybody on the move then?
I suppose so. Is there anything else we wanted to do before leaving here? I mean, it's a relatively safe place. Did anybody need a short and or long rest, I guess?
Are there any empty water skins around?
Yeah, we used several of them.
I'm going to ask, I don't remember what the lady's name is, if I can have one and fill it with holy water to take with us, because you never know when holy water might come in useful.
She said she happily gives it to you, actually. She fills it and hands it over to you.
Feria.
Feria, yeah.
Right, sword order.
She says, we don't have much to spare, but I think you need it more than we do.
Let's hope so. I wouldn't want them to actually have a need for it.
Okay.
That would mean that their situation would be much more dire than ours, quite possibly. There's a lot more lives there. Okay.
Right. So you retrace your steps back to the cemetery. There is a point, there's a couple of points actually where you see movement further down the street. Would you be trying to conceal your presence, or are you kind of just moving forward?
I think we.
I rolled stealth.
Yeah, I think we've been pretty good about trying.
At least I'm trying to go as stealthily as possible.
Yeah. Hold on, I was still zooming in. I will do my stealth as well.
Oh boy.
Bam.
What's the stealth? Can I eat it?
You might in a moment.
Okay. So actually, right. As you're kind of moving past, luckily, there is a strike of lightning from the sphere above, and it hits a building close by, and the building collapses, causing enough noise to camouflage your movement. But you do again, I think you had a similar encounter before, you hear cries emerging from the rubble.
Darn pedestrians.
I thought we killed him.
And I would say you're about here when this happens.
Ah, okay.
Bing.
Wait, I was on the... Okay.
Sorry.
Well,
I know it's probably a trap, but I gotta check. You know, that whole...
I'm guessing that you're scouting ahead of us.
Yeah. Unless Thorn wants to scout ahead.
I'm good, thanks.
Alright,
Your
so,
kashcah?
yeah, that's fine. Mhm.
Okay.
So I mean the exact location isn't super important. So you start moving rubble away from like where it's fallen and where you can hear the cries coming from. And looks like it's gonna. Are you the only one doing this, Grimm, or is anyone helping Grimm?
I don't know.
I will help.
You were scouting, so did you say anything to us, or? I mean, basically, you're looking for danger ahead of us.
I'm scouting, but I'm not necessarily all that far.
Okay. All right. So
I'm
then,
still staying relatively close to the party so that I can kind of keep an eye on, make sure you guys don't get jumped, and I'm
okay.
off in the distance.
Palkas will help and use mold earth.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can kind of
So
like.
will help.
Okay. So between the three of you, you're able to, loose enough dirt, move enough stone, that you do find a young woman.
Oh.
And she seems kind of, she seems a little like beaten up. She doesn't appear. Well, maybe make medicine checks, yes, if you so wish. Oh yeah. Okay.
Didn't show up. Ignore the second one. It didn't.
Yeah, no
For
worries.
what?
Okay.
I don't know
So
what roll 20 was doing.
she doesn't seem to have any broken bones, but she certainly has some kind of she has some cuts and bruises on her. But you think she'd be kind of safe to get standing up. And she looks at you kind of wide-eyed. She's still conscious and looks at you kind of wide-eyed, like she can't believe that you're here, you know.
It's the fact that I look like a cat, right? Are you all right?
She says, well, I think my hiding place is completely broken. She kind of looks around
Yeah.
at the building that's collapsed. And
Do you think you can make it to High Hall?
she says, I seem to be, she's kind of brushing herself off a bit. She's kind of like looking at some of the, she has like a major cut on her arm and she's kind of like trying to use her sleeve to like blot it and kind of stop it from bleeding. She says, I seem to be able to...
I don't have a medicine kit, so...
Palkas does. He'd be willing to help her out with it if it makes any difference.
Okay. Yeah, the blood's kind of like oozing from this wound, and she says, I think I'll be alright. Are you not going there?
We're headed toward the cemetery.
We just came from there. The path should be clear for a short time.
She seems a bit like confused by the whole encounter. She says, is there anybody else there?
Palkas...
There are others below.
Palkas wants to insight check this person.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
I'm also as suspicious as one can get in this particular situation. I'm just gonna outright say it. You know, the last time that we had a house fall on somebody and rescued them, it was an incubus. So we might not want to blab.
No, the incubus was the one that was cornered by the devils.
Oh, yeah, you got a point.
The last one from the collapsed building was the boy, Gary.
Palkas says, let's escort this one back. If they're not what they say they are, they won't make it past the entrance.
She says, I don't know what you're talking about. And she's kind of like backing up a little bit. Kind of like she's a little concerned. Like she looks concerned. Her face.
Palkas says, "We're trying to save the survivors. There's a safe refuge at High Hall. Come with us. We'll escort you back."
She says, "Who are you?" Now
Palk.
she's kind of untrusting of you.
Palkas, we are the Mist Wolves. We were sent here on a mission to try and, well, see what we could do.
No elves in Paradise, do you?
Yes.
She kind of
Seen
points.
the fires and the gigantic.
She kind of points up at the companion and says, "Well, that's certainly not right."
No, it never was.
She says,
Yeah, you can thank Thavius Creek for that one.
She says, "I think I'll just be on my way." She's looking at you all a bit suspiciously, kind of taking another couple of steps back.
Did you ever give insight results?
Oh, so she seems confused, like she just had a building fall on her and is not she's just confused by the questions and kind of your lack of trust of her, I guess.
If she wants to go make her own way there, let her go.
Palkas says, "If she's a
You have a
shapeshifter..."
relatively short window.
Palkas looks at you and says, "If she's a shapeshifter, like the last one was, then we've just told them something that they shouldn't know."
There are also those protecting the refugees currently. And we haven't told her how to get to where the refugees are.
That's true.
I can't imagine they don't know that the survivors are in High Hall.
Is she like running away at this point?
She's kind of backing up slowly, like looking at.
I don't think she knows anything worth killing her for.
And at that, she takes off running.
Coyra is just waving.
She kind of turns on
Or
her
you should
heel
write a
and
book.
is just like booking it out of there as fast as
How
she
win
can.
friends and influence people.
Hey, it took care of the problem, and I didn't stab anyone.
Palkas
Grateful.
takes after her.
I'm proud of you.
He says, "No, you're going to get caught." And he starts taking after her, knowing that he could probably catch up to her quite quickly. He does cardio. He never skips leg day.
Alright, so yeah, I mean, like 2 rounds, right? And you'll catch up to her pretty
Okay.
much. She had a bit of a head start. So.
And he'll try to just catch her and not hurt her or anything, and he'll say, "Look, we didn't mean to scare you, and I realize that's exactly what I'm doing here." But
She is like,
yeah.
I mean, if you've caught her by her arm, she's like shaking her arm and she's like
Yeah.
smacking you with her other hand. "Get off me! I'm not a shapeshifter!"
And he says,
It's not your purse.
"You'll be safe if we can take you back to High Hall. Come with us."
She
Why
says,
would you not go?
"I'm going! Just let me go!"
Yes.
Was she actually running in that direction?
Yeah, she was definitely running to this path.
Okay.
We can't afford to keep backtracking.
All right. He lets go over.
She runs.
Yep. He goes back to the group and maintains his 15 to 20 foot distance. His social distance. Jesus.
Okay. Alright, yeah, she sprints off up the path.
She's probably not going to stop until she gets to High Hall.
Probably not.
One would hope.
So, continuing on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alright, so Lulu will kind of, once you get to the cemetery, right? Once you get to kind of here, Lulu says, she asks you if you want to go through the cemetery or around.
Through would probably be shorter, but Do we want to deal with Gideon again?
No.
Or potentially deal with Gideon again?
I'm thinking we could go up this route.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, either way we go, I think it's about the same distance.
And you can see the city wall up ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's go around.
Okay.
And I
Because
still don't trust all those undead shambling in there.
All right. So you can make your way. You get to the tower here, right? And you see that there is a door in, like, as you see, it's this round tower. There's a door in the base of it. It's like about 2-3 stories tall. And there's a door in the bottom of it.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm not at the front of the party, so I'm not trying the door.
Palkas casts knock.
So I guess I'm trying the door.
Okay. Yeah, the door opens freely, and there is as you might guess, a spiral staircase going up.
And a human hiding underneath saying, "This is my hiding space, go away!"
I do take a moment
People
to
in
stop
Africa.
and listen. If
You hear nothing except the cracks of lightning from the former companion sphere.
proceed up the stairs.
Okay.
Crackhead.
Yep, so you can you get part way up, and there's a doorway. There's actually 2 doors. There's one kind of to the left and one to the right. And then it looks like it goes up like another story, and there's a hatch in the top that you can see.
There's usually a chest at the top with archer supplies.
Go ahead, find out.
The tower was 3 stories,
Yeah,
and the wall is 2.
yeah.
Okay, so
So
these doors probably go out onto the top of the wall. That goes out to
So in theory, the one to our right would go the direction we want to go.
if the staircase did a full circle.
Why don't you just look?
Or we can just open the door, look at it. Okay, is this the way we want to go? I'll check the one on the right first, and
Okay.
if that's not the right one, we'll go to the other one.
Yep. That looks like it's the right one.
Start heading out along the wall.
Okay. Yeah. So
Feeling very exposed.
you get like a good view over the cemetery as you're walking kind of past it up on the wall. There's plenty of undead wandering aimlessly still. Yeah. And
What about the purple smoke?
yeah, that is still going on.
Hmm.
Kind of keep an eye on Thorn, make sure he doesn't take any pot shots and Gideon from the wall.
Okay.
It regenerates too quickly.
And
You know,
make
in
our
the
way
way
toward
that
the.
humans do. You know, regenerate. Very human, that is.
so you get to around here, and you can at this point get a really good view of the chains. You know, and these large metal spikes. So the posts are quite jagged, and the chains are enormous actually, and the metal seems like it's not regular iron. It's not a metal that perhaps you recognize. But each chain link is 30 feet long and 20 feet wide.
Jeez.
And is formed of a welded loop of this metal that is and the kind of the radius or the diameter of the loop is 5 feet. So these are huge metal chains, They are covered in these metal barbs that are about 1 foot long. But they actually, when you look at them, it's like, wow, those are actually really good, like foot, you know, what's the word?
Basically, we could use
Handholds.
those to climb.
That's
Yeah.
Potentially.
I mean, it's almost like they're rungs.
Hmm. What about where the chains connect? Like the post itself, because getting across is one thing, but getting down.
Yeah, I mean, don't take these drawings literally, right? Like, there is a section of chain that is going directly down. It's just not depicted on this map.
Okay. So it looks like we could feasibly climb. How dangerous does it look?
How dangerous does what look?
The climb that we would have to make.
And the chains themselves,
So
like
it's climbing down roughly 500 feet.
the chains themselves. I mean, you think you could, with these barbs all over them, you feel like you could climb them easily, actually.
That makes me suspicious.
Do I feel like everyone else could?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, these barbs are, it's like they're like foot, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Footholds and handholds. Like you can just like, whoop, whoop, like
Okay.
they're like, it's like a
Now-
ladder, almost.
Is it like the picture where there's ground on the other side of the wall? We'd have to get down from the wall to get to the chains, or
Yeah, yep. So you do need to kind of hop down to make your way over to this post.
And that's a couple 3 stories to get down.
It's 2 stories to get down.
Okay.
which in D&D a story is about how many feet?
Usually 10.
Yeah, you reckon. It's probably like 15, 20 feet. Yeah.
So not that far down.
No.
Cool.
Grimm drops over the side.
Of course he does. Darn.
Okay. You want to do an acrobatics check?
I wouldn't need to
Oh, okay.
necessarily. I've got
he's a cat.
Oh, that's right.
a slow fall.
He's a monk cat. He lands on his feet. And he has slow fall.
Okay.
You guys coming down?
How do you plan to get back up?
Climb.
Remember that when we met him, he was bound and then jumped up on a iron fence.
All right, let me
Yep.
rephrase that. How do we get back up?
We're not going to get back up, are we?
Well, I mean, it
I
would
think
take
that
us
might be a decision for a different day.
some time and effort. I have some rope here that we could attach and leave.
It would just draw attention. We're going down to the surface.
It'd be like
We
this
don't
tiny,
need a return strategy for this.
Wait,
little
you can move
tiny
things
return.
with your
rope.
magic hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was meaning Malvola.
Yeah, we both can.
Yeah.
Oh, you both can. Okay. Well, then one of you could use the rope on the return journey to put it up here, and then we could climb that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, we could do that.
Oh, you're talking about from
I
the
mean-
wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
like getting up onto the wall from jumping down from it. So he says,
I
well,
mean, climbing a rope down the wall is probably better than just face planting.
right, that's what I'm doing now. He's tying the rope just around one of the, I'm guessing it's crenellated.
It is crenellated, yeah.
So he's just putting it around that. He's got a 25-foot hemp rope. So, and then he's tying it so that the knot is tight, but it's loose on there so that it can just be lifted up,
Okay,
if that makes sense.
I see. Yep. You've got like a loose loop around the crenellation.
Exactly.
Okay.
Of course, there's also the solution. I just climb back up, dislodge the rope, and drop back down again.
No magic. We must use magic. Not cats. I'm kidding.
Do not trust when Palkas use magic.
Magic is life and death. All right. That's actually a really good point, though.
Magic controls the universe.
You could,
The magic must flow.
you could just climb up there rather than two people messing around with the spell. All right, so Palkas starts trying to repel,
Okay.
or what is it called here
Yeah, repel.
Repel.
that you did? Off the
Can we just
Okay,
repel
alright.
works?
repel.
I can't remember.
All right.
Just for amusement's sake, how difficult does it seem it would be to climb the exterior of the wall?
I mean, it's not. It would be a little difficult. Like it's a fairly smooth wall. Like there. It's big chunks of rock, right? So there's naturally kind of like some little like grooves where they meet, but it's not.
Would it be
Built around
athletics?
The wall, didn't they?
Would it be athletics or
Generally, the
acrobatics?
difficulty in climbing a city wall is the fact that you're getting shot at by the people who are
Yeah.
standing on top of it.
Athletics.
I'm just thinking while they're rappelling down, I could just climb up the wall itself, and
I mean, you probably could.
Yep, you probably.
I just don't know if it'd be athletics or acrobatics.
Athletics for climbing.
Not great, but
It's a fairly short climb, all things considered. So.
then I'll sit on top of the wall, waiting for them to go down.
Okay. All right. So.
In maximum view.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Oh,
go
also keeping an eye out on the city, kind of in the general vicinity, make sure there's no flying devils
That's a good point.
that have taken notice.
All right. No, you seem to be safe so far.
There's a flying hollyphon.
There is a flying hollyphon.
Do you want us to make rolls to climb down Palkas's rope?
Yes, please. Athletics. It's
Who?
fairly
Now,
low
is there-
DC, but
Is there a role for how well Palkas tied the knot?
There is no
Both of you
use
should.
rope check anymore. If that's
I'm not
what
worried
you're
about it. I'll land on my feet.
Malvola, you get some nasty rope
Yeah,
burn.
yeah, thanks.
Not my fault. Don't
I'm
blame me.
sorry, it's hemp rope, not silk rope.
Grimm would reach. If Palkas says that, Grimm would reach into. You mean silk like this?
You're a jerk.
Is that your
He's been
underwear?
carrying. He's been carrying 50 feet of silk rope the entire time.
You take 1 point
Oh.
of damage, Malvola.
Poop.
Rope burn.
Jumps down,
It's a
climbs
bitch.
back up, taunts us with its cat toy. Ugh.
I mean, that's how cats are. I've
Mhm.
seen many in nature. They are like that.
At least I'm not doing a cat's favorite pastime, bat.
Yeah, I was about to say, as long as he's not
Yet.
pushing us off.
Yet.
Alright, so
Be careful around the edges.
so everybody is now, well, Grimm, are you climbing back down again now? Just jumping
No,
down?
I'm gonna undo the. Once everybody's down, I'll undo the rope, drop and let it drop down, and then drop down after it.
Okay.
I'll take my rope back up.
Alright. So you're now standing on the outside of the city wall.
Mm-hmm.
This
So,
ugly
do we
metal
tie each
spike
other
before
together?
Oh, I've seen this in a movie before. Hmm.
See if we tie everybody together. I wonder if Grimm's strong enough to start swinging. And kind of hurl everybody out.
Oh, there would be hurling involved.
Well, get some distance out toward Fort Knucklebone as we're going down. Of course,
Palkas-
this whole thing
Palkas
hinges
says
on
to Thorn,
Palkas' spell.
that's a good idea. We should use the Grimm's silk rope for that one. Kind of glares at you. Grimm. Get out the rope.
Or are we going to see if this God, help us? Are we going to see if this spell?
You cut out there. If this spell what?
I said, are we going to see if this spell of yours works? Which, by the way, I will check. Take a careful look down after glancing back, make sure none of the party is too close to me.
Sorry,
Kind of look over to see if it's still unguarded.
Wait, was that this level?
Was what first level?
This level.
This
spell, this level. You don't have
Yes.
it yet.
I have never cast it. It only
You
just
don't
got
have it until a long rest.
I can sacrifice sorcerer points to cast a higher level spell. It would take all my sorcerer's points to do so.
Okay, cool. That's nifty.
So he says, if you really want it to happen, one, I would recommend standing back. But the idea behind this is, and he looks around for a second, and he opens up his water bag. I can't remember what it's called right now for some reason. Water bag. Yeah, that
Water
works.
skin.
Water skin. Thank you. He just takes a drip, corks it back up, and says, what I would do is I would expand this to be a massive sphere of water. And then I would sweep all of you up in it. And then push it off the edge. He says, now bear with me. It slow falls and hovers above the ground.
That part's pretty good.
But while you're in the sphere, you likely wouldn't be able to do very much.
Like, breathe.
Well, you could. You would be underwater, but it would be briefly because we would fall quite rapidly at first. Now, if you don't want to do this, I understand in this case. I've never cast the spell before, and it could go very wrong. So we could climb down. Plus, I think I could only fit probably four people in there. I don't think I could fit everyone.
Well, Coyra can become ferret or something.
Can become what?
Maybe-
A fairy?
Ferret.
Oh, and jump in someone's pocket. We could do
or
that.
something that can swim, perhaps, like
Mhm.
fish.
Yes,
Well,
I was thinking
several
about a crab
fairy-
or an octopus.
Like she turned into a pile of rats. Why not a school of fish or something?
A school of fish.
I like the octopus. That's amazing.
Yeah, I like that too.
Or an otter.
Octopus are really awesome. Otters are cute, but octopus are really clever and weird.
So you're basically describing me right now. Thank you. Minus the clever bit.
Palkas says, now in my current state, this would take a considerable portion of my skill to do so. I would be slightly exhausted afterwards. In other words, he's trying to describe how he's going to be using 6 spell points to cast this, and that would be all of his spell points.
Basically, you'd be down to nothing but cantrips.
No, he would have a few first level spells, I think.
No, he'd be down to nothing but cantrips.
Nice try. Yeah, he'd pretty much just be down to first level spells and nothing else.
How long would it take you to cast this thing?
Oh, it'd take me maybe just a few seconds to cast it, but I could maintain it up to a minute.
But I'm just thinking, maybe if we just try climbing, and then when one of us falls, we can cast it then, and hopefully catch up to the person who's about to die. Maybe if you go first, then someone will fall past you, and then you can cast it and snag them, and you know.
I can't cast the spell that quickly.
Of course, if we're going to do the climbing thing, I definitely suggest tie a rope between us. That way, if anybody slips and falls, there's a chance of them not pulling everybody with them.
I have a question. If I would become a giant wolf spider, is anyone big enough or small enough to ride me? That way I can bring someone down safely.
How big is a giant wolf spider?
I'm looking it up.
I've seen some big ones before. They're scary.
Yes, that's right. Yes, indeed. Where do I see the size again? That's the issue that I have.
So they are medium themselves. So
Yeah.
So I mean they're as big as you, Palkas.
he might suddenly learn a fire spell just for that.
He's the size of any average humanoid.
See, giant
just
spider.
under 6 foot.
Giant spider. I have large beast. So
I looked at.
Is that bigger? A giant spider is that one bigger?
Sorry, I didn't.
I looked at giant wolf.
Question is,
oh, I couldn't find wolf.
Yeah,
spider.
the giant spider is large beast. That's bigger, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there is a giant wolf spider.
Yeah. It does have butt rope.
Now I've seen I can become one of the two. So yeah, Coyra actually suggests if you want, I can become a giant spider, and if you're not too heavy, I could carry you down. It's probably much safer than climbing this normally.
Can we get now that we're here at the edge of the thing? Can we get a better idea of the distance to the ground?
It's actually 502 feet.
I'm trying to think if well, make a perception check. Yeah, make a perception check. See if you can do it.
Vallen, it's 500.1. Just
yeah, it looks like it's within 500 feet.
Okay, because the idea of this water ball dive off the side thing.
It's a sphere.
A minute still kills us when we get to.
No, you would fall at normal speed. At least I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check. Thought that's what I said on there. Here, actually, let me click it, and then everybody can argue about that. Watery sphere.
I mean, Palkas ball sounds fun.
But riding a giant spider also sounds fun.
Wall text.
Yeah.
Oh.
Boom.
Yeah.
See, as an action, I can move it up to 30 feet, but if it moves over a pit, cliff, or other drop, it safely descends until it is hovering 10 feet over ground. Doesn't say how fast. And a creature.
But it's only a minute. If the fall takes longer than a minute, we're still a little puddle on the ground.
Yep. Right.
but it does say safely descends, doesn't it?
Yeah. Don't know how fast safely descending is. It would be tricksy.
Can it stop itself
what
mid-air?
is the gravity of hell?
Well, it depends on how far above the ground we are when the minute runs out.
Why don't we just climb down and have
almost all of you are puddles
and have Coyra be the anchor in case we slip?
Wait, what?
So we're all tied to each other. You turn into a spider, and we all climb down. And if we slip, you're still pretty securely attached to this thing, right? So
sounds like a plan, I hope.
I mean, Palkas ball does sound awesome.
Yes, but it also sounds like.
But it does sound like it might be a bit horrifying.
Yes, and it also sounds like we will definitely make it to the bottom, just not in one piece.
You will arrive on the ground.
While this discussion is going on, I'm gonna walk kind of test
Build a chain.
The chain or the spike? Or
test the spikes and see how sturdy they are.
oh yeah, like the barbs on the chain are very sturdy. The metal
Sapphire ingots.
is evil. If
Oh,
metal,
you
if
can
metal
infuse
could,
iron.
could be evil, this is it.
It's hell's steel, isn't it?
I don't know if I want to. Yeah.
This was made from infernal ingots or whispering ingots. It's death metal. Oh god.
This metal just feels wrong, evil, foul.
Fiendish.
You say that about everything here. We're in hell.
Yeah. Try gloves.
What? Whip out the rope.
Yeah, do we have 500 feet of rope?
No, just to tie to each other. What are you doing?
I was testing the. Yeah. This foul metal.
Do you have gloves on, Grimm?
I've got the gauntlets of ogre power, or the gauntlets with the feature.
Okay.
So,
Something tells me if
are we roping to each other then?
before we do that,
I mean, I love the roping, because then if one of you falls... No.
I can take a glove off. Your question has me curious now.
Crap. I hate it when I do that.
If I take at least one of the
Still too
gauntlets off,
much.
it doesn't change the attunement. I can remove these, right?
Yeah.
There's no feature that binds them to my hand.
They have become one.
I put on anything metal and it's like me.
It's gonna be fun in the bathroom from now.
You're a little
Just
too
because of-
magnetic.
Just because of the nature of what I got through the gloves, I'm curious. I'm
Okay.
gonna take one of the gloves off and reach out and grab the metal.
Okay.
See if it feels any different.
It feels more evil.
That's
Yeah.
right for you to feel like in Jurassic Park where he walks up to the fence with the kids and goes, "Ah!" Seems safe.
I'm more curious
Samuel.
if this is going to have a long term. Yeah. Wipe my hand off and put the gauntlet back on.
Okay.
For once, I'm glad I'm wearing gauntlets. If you have gloves, I'd recommend wearing them.
Palkas
And
says,
just touch the metal and you'll see what I mean.
Palkas says, I only have the one. And he opens his torch bag and pulls out
Is
the
it white and
gauntlet.
sequined? The way you were saying that, I half expected it to be white and sequined.
Yeah.
No. He used the other one.
Kiss you to a duel.
I pull out the silk rope and toss it to Palkas.
He ties it around his waist, tosses it to Malvola.
So we're sticking with the rope plan,
I think that's probably wise.
and you
So
just
all of us-
see
okay.
Coyra. You see Coyra become a giant spider while you're saying yes. She was holding on to what she would do. Upon hearing the role plan, she's a giant spider.
Okay. Don't worry. If it looks like we're going to all fall to our death, I'll try to catapult us down faster so we have a quicker death. He looks around and he goes, that was a joke. I was kidding.
I'm just thinking that since I've got these gauntlets that give me a little bit better strength, maybe contrary to normal order, I should go last as an anchor.
No, that's Coyra.
It's
Well, no,
time
since
find
the
Coyra.
are we tying the rope to Coyra?
Yes.
I thought there was a plan, yeah.
Okay.
She's much.
Coyra also has her own brand of rope.
Yep, she's much bigger.
Indeed. She has bed rope. It's even better than a regular rope.
True facts about the bonus. So Malvola, you Palkas just tossed you the end of the rope. Are you partaking in this
Madness.
Suicide mission?
shenanigans?
Is this
Still
when
on
you
the
say,
fence.
"Oh, by the way, I've got Featherfall"?
Just take you a really long
Um,
time to get down there.
Yeah, it would.
But time
Actually,
he's
no,
down the
because that
back.
doesn't last that long.
Oh, kitty.
I would get to like 470 feet and then stop feather falling, and
It's only 30
you just
feet.
make sure that
It'll
you
be
fall halfway and then cast.
Oh my gosh, the kitty.
it would fall far enough that I can then cast Dimension Door and end up on the surface unharmed. No, yeah, I will. I still think this is a terrible idea, but I'm gonna go along with it anyway. I will time myself.
Okay.
Even if we did the watery sphere, Coyra would still have to spider. Because he would only be able to take 4
Or-
people.
I could become an octopus.
Right, but somebody's
true.
got to concentrate on the spell as it rapidly descends, and then he has to be in the spell area to do so. So he'd have to be one of the restrained people, which would
An
mean
octopus
somebody would
can
have to stay.
squeeze in tiny spaces.
It's true.
Oh, that's true. I see what you're saying. You'd jump in someone's pocket. Okay, yeah. I was about to say,
I
if you-
desperately want the watery sphere to happen. Just What's going on? The rope is so frayed. It's terrible.
The cat has been playing with it too much.
No, I haven't.
Don't worry, there's always the
fine.
alternative.
Okay.
Bed rope.
So, Thorn, you gonna attach the rope to you?
Yeah, of course. All
So
for
I guess
one and
we're all
one for all.
participating in this madness.
Okay.
Okay, if Palkas tied the one end to him,
You said you
that
tied it to
means-
you. I then tied to you. Then I handed it to Malvola, who
Okay.
tied it.
well, I hadn't said I tied it, but we'll go with that.
Okay, and then Thorn, and then after Thorn is Coyra.
Okay, if we're ready, let's get this madness over
Time
with.
find Coyra.
Okie doke. So we've
I'm
got
going
anchors
to
at both
try
ends.
I'm going to try to ignore the nasty feel of this and start.
Okay.
I'm waiting for roll this.
I'm
No.
a
So,
giant spider. Anything is nasty to me.
so let's figure out then how fast you're moving, right? Because climbing takes, like, for every foot you're climbing, your takes an extra foot of movement.
Yep, that's half speed.
Yeah, so half speed. So how fast are you climbing?
20 feet.
Well, my top speed is 40.
Yeah, but if everybody's
But I know there's
attached
only
to
one
each
other
other-
person
Right.
that can move that quickly. So I'm going to drop it down so that I'm moving at the rough equivalent of 30.
Yep, so I think
My
15.
climbing speed is 30.
But we get
It's a
double
spider,
actions.
the same.
because
It's
we're
true.
using our whole 6 seconds for movement. So we
Mhm.
should be able to manage 30 feet around.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So, yeah, since we're doing it that way, like I said, I'm moving at about 30 because I don't want to start putting strain on the rope and pulling people by going faster.
So
By the way, Palkas is afraid of heights. Just kidding.
I'm afraid of heights, but fortunately Thorn is not.
Okay.
Yeah. Same.
Here's a blindfold.
I think that makes it worse.
Not a
Alright, wait, so hang on.
Yeah, maybe.
But you can't you can't dash climb, right?
Yeah. Basically,
Well,
we're
no,
going to
that's
be.
true.
I'd say we're probably technically moving at about 15 around,
I think so too.
which means it's going to take us a while.
Mhm.
Which means there's more opportunity for Kashcah to
Kill
make
us.
things
Pal-
right.
Palkas would ask Lulu to keep an eye out for any possible attackers or danger that might see us. Yeah.
Okay.
It's still only 4 minutes. It's not.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to take you about 4 minutes to climb down. So
And
yeah,
hopefully the battle doesn't surge back in this direction mid-climb.
during those 4 minutes, yeah.
Can I dash fall?
Fall at my usual rate, and then I use my action to fall even faster.
Right.
Okay, so you're climbing, and who has gloves on?
I have gauntlets.
No,
No gloves.
I don't. No,
At least I don't know that I do.
Am I the only one with gloved hands?
I mean, I'm
I
an
have
archer.
spider hands. I have spider hands.
I'm trying to remember the image that I put up if it had gloves on or not. Do I have a description? My bio. Pocket shoulder strip, cycle shield, backpack, maul in hand. Nope. I know I have boots on, but I don't have any gloves. Which is weird, but oh well.
Okay.
Of course, there is the aspect that I'm barefoot.
Ah, yes.
Just thought about that when you were talking about boots. I've got the gauntlets on, but I'm barefoot.
I mean, do you not have hairy feet at the moment?
Well, I don't know how much that affects anything.
Got toe hawks going on.
The cat! Come on!
He would still have toe beans. The toe beans would still be.
True.
Okay. So, I'll just phrase it perhaps a little differently. If you're in contact with the bare metal, after about a quarter of the way down, so you've been climbing for about a minute, and this slowly, like as you're spending more time in contact with this metal, the pervasive nature of it just is overwhelming, and I need anybody who has like bare skin contact with the metal to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Question, do I have to do it as a spider?
Yes.
Okay, as I'm not sure if it counted as spiders have hairy things. Let's see, Constitution on the spider is 12 plus 1. What does that mean? I roll a d20 plus 1?
Exactly.
Yeah,
No,
that's right.
on to the right of your Constitution stat, there's your saving throws.
Yeah, but as
The
a
one that
oh,
says
my spider is the
Constitution.
same as Coyra, it's fine.
Okay.
Makes it easier.
Okay.
In hindsight, I should have put those boot things that Palkas gave me ages ago on.
All right. So you feel this sense of kind of dread and general fiendishness kind of growing the more that you're touching this metal, but it doesn't seem to have like overwhelmed any of you yet.
So what's the effect of putting your hand on the?
What's that? Sorry.
So what's the effect of putting your hands on the
Yeah, on the metal. Yeah, this is like the metal has this kind of fiendish quality to it. That the more you touch it, the more likely you are to be overwhelmed by its nature. So none of you have been yet. So these saving throws. Sorry,
I
maybe
guess
I'm
I'm
not
not seeing the difference between that and being in Avernus.
The metal is
I mean-
evil.
So is the
It-
whole
it-
place.
It takes the air and it's like concentrated, I guess. I don't.
You know, it's like focusing on a fork in a concentration camp. The whole place is evil.
Yes, but a fork made of the distilled souls of the suffering dead.
Are
This is
more
more
evil.
evil.
That's my new pack weapon.
Fair enough.
It's a bleak pack, man.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, so another minute of climbing. Basically, we need to make constitution checks every minute. So
And
I'll
it
need
takes
to
us
do-
how many minutes?
How
Oh,
far
no.
down now?
Quarter of the way. We're going to half now, I guess.
How long is my butt rope? Can I not attach it to it and butt rope down?
Uh-oh.
Hang on.
oh.
Kashcah is getting excited.
Crap. Oh, that only crap. That doesn't work.
Hold on.
Maybe someone wants to. No, inspiration will help.
We should try and find out what actually happens before we.
Nope.
Yeah, we're about to see.
It's not gonna help.
And I'm
Sorry.
the guinea pig. Aren't you guys lucky?
Yeah.
We'll find out if we are or not. Suddenly get this
All right.
need to jump. Maybe we won't be.
Okay. So so you're unable to resist this kind of fiendish metal anymore, fiendish magic within the metal, and it overwhelms you for a moment, Grimm, and you take 10 necrotic damage.
Ooh.
Oh.
Are you okay?
And actually, I now need you to make, Grimm, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw to see if you're able to maintain your grip on the chain. Okay, yep, you're fine.
Okay, good.
I wouldn't add that much weight to the rope. Great.
Yeah. It's not like it turns you either or anything.
Yeah.
We don't know that.
I mean, you're saying that. Have you seen him?
Grimm, are you okay? It's not like you to almost lose your grip like that.
It's this metal. This disgusting metal. Keep going.
Palkas says, I've...
And don't worry, if I turn evil, I'll just jerk on the rope and put everybody free.
Where does bags go? Where are they?
Okay. So everybody gonna keep
Jump out, not down.
Palkas says, I've got a sack. I could give it to you. You could use it to hang on to things with. It's not gloves.
He's got gloves on.
Gloves aren't the issue.
Oh,
I should have worn shoes.
I gave you shoes.
You can put them on your
It's a
feet.
little late to worry about that at the moment.
Put them on.
Says the guy with no gloves on.
He pulls out the two
Yeah.
sacks that he has and starts trying to use those as a makeshift glove, kind of tying them around his arms. There you go.
At this point, we're about halfway there. Might as well just go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I'd
just
rather take
realized
3d6
something,
necrotic
and I
than
feel
4.
really dumb for.
Out with it.
I have a bag of holding.
I'm not getting in your bag.
Fine.
He didn't want you in his bag anyway.
You were not invited.
my water ball is safer than your bag to get in.
Watery sphere. Watery sphere.
I don't know about that because it constitutes as a spell.
I know.
And we're on the chain now, which is even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I take it
So
it's
his
time for
spell
roll
is
number 3.
Wild Surges and is, a lightning bolt or something like
Oh
Dear.
God!
Right?
That was shocking.
You were joking about the Jurassic Park thing.
Yeah, totally.
All right. So climbing on.
Just remember, you're all tied to me
Yeah.
now.
You're not stuck.
Yeah.
Then after another minute, more Constitution saving throws, please.
Okay. Now I've got bags on my hands, but I'm still gonna roll because I don't know if you're gonna count that against me or not. But there you go.
So wait, you have bags on
Just
you.
hope you don't need to make dex roll.
Well, I don't know.
I was thinking, how are you climbing with bags on your hands? Like what?
I mean, they're just it's just a sack, and I just kind of tied it around here, and
it's like when you clean up after Lilu when you kick it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine climbing down. Anyway,
if it's gonna be that difficult to do, then
no,
he would
it's
forgo
fine.
it.
It's fine. Okay, then. Oh wait, hang on. Because is anybody making these con saves that has gloves and boots on? Or does everybody
I'm a
is
spider,
everybody
so-
missing one of them?
I've got gauntlets, but no shoes.
I think everybody's missing at least one of them.
Okay.
I've
Except
heavy
for you.
legs because
Except
I'm
me
a
now. Yeah.
spider.
Okay. So you didn't actually need to make it then.
Okay.
But So so Coyra, you take 12 necrotic damage from your spider. Oh, actually, and then everybody else except Palkas takes 6 this time.
Oof.
Wait, what was that?
Everybody else takes half the damage.
She's trying to
Oh.
kill us.
Lovely.
That's what's happening.
All right. So then, what? Another minute?
Do I need to do another roll? Or not this time?
Yes, you do.
Which one was it?
Dexterity.
Let's see, Dexterity 16 plus. It's also the same. Coyra is basically a spider. Oh, that's bad.
Oh.
That is bad.
Well, she has spider climb though.
Yeah.
So she shouldn't
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
to make the.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yep. You are fine. As a spider, you are fine.
Okay,
Thank goodness.
so as a spider, I don't
Yeah.
need to do that.
There's a giant spider falling off would definitely help the rest of us.
Okay. So then.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, what's fall damage? D6 for every 10 feet. We're about 200, or we're about what 125 feet up. Yeah, I don't think I'd survive that.
You're fine. Could be all
I'm a
ones.
spider. Be happy. I'm a spider.
I'm so happy you're a spider.
Same.
Let's keep moving. I don't want to be a devil.
So you're actually kind of like not that far from the ground at this point. You can make out the battle that's going on below, and you can very clearly see the river Styx now. And what you see is there's kind of around some of the posts from the other chains. There are these armored legions of devils that are surrounding some of these posts that are anchoring Elturel to this ground. And what you're noticing is that from the river Styx, these squads of demons are kind of crawling and loping out of the water and just immediately kind of hurl themselves into the devil's ranks. And you can see most of the demons are pretty kind of lowly, demons, dretches and mains and stuff. And they die quite quickly in these kind of vain attempts to drag down the devils in these enormous legions. So yeah, that's kind of what you're looking at. That's happening below you. There's this just kind of never-ending, almost, you know, flow of demons into these legions of devils, and you can see as well on the river that is flowing pretty much directly beneath El Terrell. There are these demonic barges being assailed by squadrons of winged devils. And you can see one particular pit fiend seems to be commanding them and is clutching a battle standard. She seems to be kind of like a bit northeast of your position.
Okay.
Okay.
Which way's Fort Knucklebone?
So then one
On the other
last
side of her.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
well, one last Constitution save, please. Then. Right, did we do? This is the fourth one, right?
This is the fourth one.
Okay.
Ow.
Alright, I'm doing
Wait, did I
stuff.
click the wrong thing? No, I didn't.
I don't have Tides of Chaos, but I do have Bend Luck.
Oh, look at that creepy roll. Okay. So then, anybody below 10? Oh, Palkas, why are you doing that? If you
Sorry. Sorry.
So Malvola, yep, you take the full 6, and then everybody else takes 3. And Malvola, I need you to make the Dex saving throw, please.
Bye.
No, you're fine.
We're holding you in place.
Yeah, the rope
Mm-hmm.
being tied to your comrades is good. All right. So you are able to finish your descent down the chain and reach the scoured hellscape that is the ground of Avernus.
We finally descended into Avernus. Look at that. Only took
End of
25
campaign.
It
episodes.
only took us, what, 5 months now?
Ooh.
Yeah, and there is
Long way down.
yeah, it's a long way down. There is this battle kind of just a little ways away from you to the northeast. And yeah, you watch as like this kind of group of demons that's just crawled out to the river Styx just hurls themselves into the front line of the devils, and just the devils just kind of make mincemeat of them. And
Okay.
Coyra, are you staying as a spider?
I will not.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, Spider is almost dead either way, so.
So, and the benefit for her is once she changes back, she's still at her hit point.
Full HP pool. Yeah, for
Sorry,
sure.
you said what?
Sorry.
You got cut out for me, Nobi.
No, when you change back, you're still at your full hit points because all the hit points, Spider's
Well,
hit points.
Full hit points.
Well, you know.
Yeah. Also, when I change back, the rope just falls off me. I don't have to untie it. Haha.
It's true.
And the time-saving device.
Palkas unties the rope.
Protocol.
Yeah, everybody get.
And he calls to Lulu and says, "Which way to Knucklebone?"
So Lulu points to the northwest.
Okay. If we just head in that direction, are we going to be obviously in the open? Is there cover?
I mean, you are kind of in the open at the moment.
Right. Is there any cover?
Very little.
Let's just hoof it. Let's go.
Yep.
We need to just get...
Pass without trace.
Ah, good
Oh.
call. Yeah. Alright, so with Thorn's Pass Without a Trace, you're able to kind of slink away from the sounds of battle, leaving this infernal war, or at least that chunk of it, behind you, and heading off into the desolate wastes of Avernus. And I think we're going to have a slightly shorter session today and call it there.
All right.
And we'll pick up tomorrow. Oh, not tomorrow. Next week.
Very much.
Yeah. On your way to Fort Knucklebone.
All right. Well, tune in next time, folks, for more of Descent into Avernus. Should be continuing next Saturday. Don't forget, we are planning on starting a brand new campaign with a homebrew campaign tomorrow with new DM, some older players. And it should be around 6 p.m.
Some older players? What are you trying to say?
Meaning some players that have been here before. How's that? Experienced players. And we should be trying to start that out sometime around 6 p.m. UK time tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys.
I'm so excited. You guys want to know what my character is?
Yeah.
I am a turtle barbarian.
Wow.
Fantastic.
I'm a turtle barbarian who enjoys botanical watercolors as a pastime. So...
For those that don't know what a turtle is, it's basically a giant tortoise. Turtle.
Just think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Something like that, yeah.
So what happens with the barbarian like movement speed increase? Does that bring them up to?
Yeah,
For a turtle, that's ludicrous speed.
I've gone plaid.
All right, folks. Well, we'll see you. We'll see you later. Thanks again. Bye.
Bye.